Greetings, fans of Key Issues. Today, in honor of the simultaneous release of Justice League and the upcoming Infinity War trailer set to drop tomorrow, we're going to take a look at what would happen if the villain from Infinity War took on the Justice League. So, Justice League is out, and Key Issues has a ton of content coming down the pipeline relating to it. Our channel has some pretty mixed opinions on the film, so there should be something for everybody, meaning if you hated it, we'll have videos on how to fix it and what was wrong with it, and if you loved it, we'll have videos that kind of talk about the positive topics and anticipation for future DC film projects. Now, that being said, I started thinking about the massive onslaught of movies coming our way, and Avengers Infinity War is still at the top of my most wanted list. We all know that the main antagonist of Avengers Infinity War is the Mad Titan Thanos himself. And from what we understand, the film is really going to be more of like a heist film, where Thanos goes around the galaxy collecting all the Infinity Stones that we've seen in other films. Ultimately, I guess the first part of Infinity War is going to be more like the Thanos quest than the actual Infinity Gauntlet or Infinity War storylines in the comic books. So, to give you guys a little bit of quick history on Thanos, a couple things that a lot of people don't really know, especially if they're a casual viewer, is that Thanos is actually based off of a DC character, that character in specific being Darkseid, as Jim Starlin, the creator of Thanos, has actually stated in the past that he took direct inspiration from Jack Kirby's New Gods when he created that character, which is where Darkseid and a lot of those other characters came from. Now, initially, Thanos resembled a character called Metron, but after the recommendation of editor Roy Thomas, Jim Starlin actually beefed up the character a bit, and he began to look more like Darkseid. The phrase Roy used was, if you're gonna rip off a new god, you might as well make it Darkseid. Thanos and Darkseid are similar in appearance, but drastically different in just about every other respect. However, one thing's for certain, within their respective universes, they are two of the most formidable villains of all time. The point of this video is to swap Thanos out of the Marvel Universe and put him into the DC Universe. If Thanos was forced to fight the Justice League, who would win and why? So what scenarios would have to occur for Thanos to win versus what scenarios would have to occur for him to lose? Additionally, if you guys dig this video, then I may be willing to do the other side of the equation and have Darkseid face the Avengers. So the way that we kind of do this is we tend to take a look at both sides, Thanos, and we'll take a look at all the different members of the Justice League, assess their strengths and weaknesses, and then in the end of the video, we'll discuss what I think would happen if they actually faced each other. For the purposes of this video, the Justice League is going to be comprised of the team that moviegoers are going to see when they go to the theater. So, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, and Superman. Other mainstays like Green Lantern are not going to be included, even though in the future they may show up in the DC Universe. For a quick digest of every character that might show up in the DCEU, check out our video, Every Upcoming DC Comics Movie Explained. Additionally, I'm going to keep these characters' power levels consistent with the films, with a bit of comic book references sprinkled in to fill in the holes that the movies kind of assume that you know. If not, the fight boils down to like the most invincible version of these characters battling, and that's super boring. Thanos is a little bit different on the other hand because we haven't really seen him do anything in the film series yet. We know he's a badass because virtually everybody in the known universe is terrified of him, and if the footage leaked from the upcoming trailers have taught us anything, it's that he's going to be god tier. However, the majority of the Thanos section I'm going to reference has to do with his power levels from the comics, and I'll introduce scenarios with and without his most famous weapon if you kind of see where I'm going with that. First up, let's discuss the Justice League members. First, we have Batman. Batman doesn't really have any powers except for the best power. He's filthy rich. Batman also possesses genius-level intellect. He's a master of hand-to-hand combat, nearly all disciplines, and has pushed his body to the physical peak of what a human can achieve. I also hear he's pretty good at being a detective. Batman's immense wealth also affords him a nearly endless supply of resources, everything from high-tech gadgets to multiple layers, and even an orbital satellite array. Did I mention he also has the most bitching car of all time? Next up, we have Wonder Woman. Diana of Themyscira possesses a number of powers imbued to her through blood. She is a demigod, half-daughter of Zeus and Hippolyta. She has super speed, strength, agility, and is nearly invulnerable. In some incarnations of the character, like the New 52, she can even fly, but she can't in the movies, so get wrecked. Additionally, she possesses a lasso of truth, which is an unbreakable lasso that compels whoever's ensnared within it to tell Wonder Woman whatever she wants to know and be truthful, and a pair of unbreakable bracelets that block bullets and work with any outfit, girl. Coming in third is Water Drago, aka Aquaman, and due to his Atlantean physiology, he possesses super strength, agility, and speed, and when he's in the water, his speed is multiplied. He's the king of Atlantis and possesses one of the most unique powers within the Justice League, the ability to communicate with and control marine life. This means he can literally call forth an army of sharks, whales, dolphins, krakens, or sea cucumbers. Additionally, he wields the Trident of Poseidon, a virtually indestructible trident that was made for stabbing people in the face that disagree with him. Now, let's talk about the Flash. And you and I both know what powers the Flash has. You've seen the show, don't pretend like you haven't seen it. So, the Flash has the ability to channel energy from the Speed Force and move far beyond the speed of a normal human being. He's more on par with the speed of light, or many, many factors faster than that in the comics. He also has the ability to channel this energy to create Hadoukens of lightning, phase between objects, create all manners of whirlwinds, heal himself, and tell people he wasn't fast enough to save them. The Flash is also susceptible to cold and doesn't have nearly quite the same level of durability or strength that some of the other members have, so it's possible for him to get dropped by lesser powered enemies if they can catch him. Next up is Cyborg, who is a cyborg. Despite having the least imaginative name on the team, Cyborg possesses a number of unique abilities. The vast majority of Victor Stone's body has been replaced with advanced technology from the Red Room, a secret military think tank weapons division headed by his father, which the movie never bothered to tell you, but Cyborg's male enhancements grant him super strength, speed, as well as the ability to fly. Additionally, he has a ton of blasters, missiles, bombs, and gadgets, and a famous sonic cannon, a cannon that comes out of his arm and uses ultrasonic vibration to destroy whatever is unfortunate enough to be pointed at it. Cyborg also possesses this weird ability to hack and control pretty much any piece of technology in the galaxy. While he's extremely durable, he's not invincible, and his body is susceptible to a wide variety of attacks from both physical and digital enemies. Last but certainly not least, we have the greatest superhero, Superman. The co-founder of the Justice League, he has powers virtually immeasurable, but in the films I feel like he hasn't really peaked yet. He's super strong, moves at incredible speeds, has heat vision, super hearing, x-ray vision, and frost breath. He's a strong fighter, massive heavy hitter, and a decent tactician. In the DC films, he also has an uncanny ability to not have a whole lot of dialogue, which is mean because Superman is my favorite superhero and I want to hear him say stuff. He's nearly invulnerable except for in the presence of his major weakness, kryptonite, and he's also vulnerable under a red sun, but that hasn't really been discussed very much in the films. That is about it for the Justice League. If you're still here, good, because now we're going to get into the Mad Titan Thanos. Thanos possesses a wide variety of abilities. Due to the fact that he is a mutated member of an ancient race known as the Eternals, he is insanely powerful, on par with characters like the Hulk and the Sentry, and depending upon what point in comic book history you're talking about, he's one of the most physically powerful beings in the universe. He also possesses superhuman speed, agility, durability, and longevity, meaning he lives a very long time. Thanos can absorb and project vast quantities of cosmic energy and is capable of telekinesis, forms of telepathy, and matter manipulation. However, the most deadly aspect of Thanos is his mind. He is a master tactician, often planning events for many years in at least 20 movies at this point before he finally reveals his master plan. Thanos is like a giant, super strong, super old, super non-rich, and also evil version of Batman. So, well, they're not really alike at all, but they're both good at plans, and that's what I was getting at. We also can't discuss Thanos without discussing the Infinity Gauntlet, one of the coolest weapons in comic book history. The Forge Gauntlet contains the 6 Infinity Stones, gems of immense power that grant the person who possessed the stone complete mastery over one aspect of the multiverse. The gems contained within the Infinity Gauntlet control space, time, power, mind, soul, and reality. Basically everything. When the gauntlet is fully formed, it gives the wielder complete omnipotence, omnipresence, and omniscience. Basically, he's a living god. He has ability to create or destroy at will, with basically no living being able to stop him. It's insane. And now we get to the good shit, the actual fight. And I'm going to paint a couple what-if scenarios here, so just stick with me, but it's very likely that if the Justice League came to blows with Thanos, it would not end well for the Mad Titan. Physically, they are entirely too dominating. This comes down to my own personal opinion in the comic books that I've read, but DC characters can be outrageously overpowered. In a knockdown, drag-out fight, the Justice League is basically unstoppable unless you write in some weird form of villainous deus ex machina where they don't win. Superman alone is nearly unstoppable. He has immeasurable power levels and always seems to be as strong as you need him to be to win in a scenario. In a purely physical fight, without the Infinity Gauntlet involved, I don't think Thanos could prevail. However, I do trust that Thanos wouldn't walk headfirst into a battle with the Justice League. He's too smart. He would remove the elements from the board or adjust them so that he knows what he'd be able to expect and beat. Each Justice League member has a weakness that Thanos could exploit in one-on-one combat. Superman would be vulnerable under a red sun or kryptonite. Batman wouldn't be able to physically survive a battle with him. Aquaman and Wonder Woman aren't physically powerful enough to defeat him one-on-one, but maybe as a team. And Thanos' access to advanced weaponry from other universes may even put Cyborg on the sidelines. The Flash may give him a run for his money, puns, but ultimately the Flash may lack the physical strength to get the job done. However, as a cohesive team, it's lights out. There are tons of exceptions to what I just said, though, and certainly a wide variety of situations where each member could potentially come out on top, but for the most part in my mind, that's how things would pan out. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. What if Thanos had the ultimate Nintendo Power Glove, aka the Infinity Gauntlet? Well, he wins immediately, right? How could a being with absolute godlike power and abilities possibly lose to anybody? I still think he loses, but I'll explain. When Thanos first wields the Infinity Gauntlet, the first thing he does is wipe out half of all of the living beings in the galaxy. And it's easy to assume that he could simply think of erasing Superman, Batman, or any Justice League member, and that'd be the end of it. But the Infinity Gauntlet is insanely powerful, almost overpowered, and the thing about it is that it takes into account the nature of the person who's wielding it. Thanos has used the Infinity Gauntlet multiple times in the past, yet he's never come out on top, and it's fair to say that he won't ever come out on top, especially not in these films, and not in this arc. So how is it possible? Well, the reason is psychological. Deep down, Thanos knows that he's not worthy of ultimate power and shouldn't succeed. And I know what you're thinking. What in the hell are you talking about? Thanos doesn't win because he doesn't want to? And I know that sounds far-fetched, but this is exactly what happens in the comic books. Adam Warlock hypothesizes that Thanos has the will and desire to achieve phenomenal things, but ultimately fails because at the core of his psyche, he knows that he isn't worthy of victory. Ultimately, even if they're outmatched by the unbelievable power of the Infinity Gauntlet, the inherent nature of Thanos simply would not allow him to win. The Justice League wins this battle regardless of the various circumstances or scenarios that surround it. But hey, if you're a big Thanos fan, you can always fall back on the fact that he's been killed like 40 times in the comics, including just recently in Secret Wars, but he always manages to come back and come back stronger. So the winner of this battle is the Justice League, and I think that's pretty fair. They're an extremely powerful team made up of some of the greatest heroes of all time. And this is the part of every video where people zone out or click the next link to the right on YouTube, but we want to thank you guys for checking out this video, and if you dig it, why not click the subscribe button? It takes virtually no effort, and it really, really helps us out. We do tons of giveaways to try and stay super engaged with our viewers as well, so please click that button. That's it for this video, but on the screen you'll see a bunch of different places where you can follow us, and we would appreciate it if you did. Our channel posts all kinds of unique content, as well as live podcasts every Sunday. That's it from Nick here at Key Issues, and remember the motto, comics over everything.